Toasting the Porsche 911's 50th birthday a year ago, we decreed its life and times to be exceptional. This is the two-door that defined what a modern, fast, and comfortable sports car should be. Porsche's half-century of earnest development turned a flawed blueprint into a machine with grace and soul. If you don't long for a 911 of some stripe, your head is in the wrong magazine. Which is why any manufacturer serious about building a worthy sports car hangs its bullseye on the 911's shoulders. Mercedes, or, more accurately, the newly coined Mercedes-AMG, is the latest to fix same with its GT S. The Benz boys are no strangers to sporty two-doors. There's the SLK for mistresses and the SL for their sugar daddies. But those roadsters bow down to the pre-production GT S coupe we recently drove near AMG's Affolterbauer engineering lair northeast of Stuttgart. Curious that when Mercedes-Benz and Jaguar go after the Porsche 911, they end up designing cars with quite similar rooflines and jumps. A mile into our mountain road sprint, with AMG chairman Tobias Moers chaperoning, it's clear why SL is not part of this car's name. While the GT S is the lineal descendant of the SLR McLaren and the SLS AMG, this newborn is a different kind of predator. From the SLR, two nose jobs, wheelbase trims, door schemes, and price cuts finally have yielded a sports car armed to main Porsche 911 GT3 S and turbos, not to mention the Aston Martin Vantage, Audi R8, Chevy Corvette Z06, Jaguar F-Type, and Maserati Gran Turismo. Prices are nowhere near final, but we're guessing the base GT will start at $115,000, while the more powerful, fully outfitted GT S will run $150,000. Beneath the long hood, AMG's new 4.0-liter V8 is loud and potent. Its deep startup growl becomes a quaking rumble when the two turbos roll in. Thrust is instantaneous and intoxicating. Battling the 7-speed automatic sends a repertoire of barks and snorts rattling through the mufflers. Thanks to its twelve-cylinder edge over the 911, the GT S is audibly assertive when provoked, yet subdued in the upper gears and a gentle throttle. Read more, in depth with the AMG GT's stinking M178 twin-turbo V8. The audio is all-natural, Moers says, because he despises the synthetic soundtracks used by others. What's missing is a soprano aria at the 7,000 revolutions per minute redline. The turbos mute the high notes so effectively that this pipe organ stops short of the upper octaves, corroborating evidence that the GT S is a worthy 911 foe. Its exceptional agility. AMG trimmed 175 pounds off the SLS's 3,750-pound curb weight and cut the wheelbase by 2 inches. The lighter engine and shorter nose help shift the GT S's weight balance to 4,555%, front-rear, what AMG development boss Jochen Herman considers the perfect distribution. At this point we know little about the GT except that it costs less, makes less power, and has less equipment than the GT S. Uncannily quick steering response means that you turn the GT S's wheel a few degrees and the nose sniffs for the apex with bloodhound keenness. The effort builds quickly and linearly, but the steering never feels too heavy. Pushed to their limits, the Michelin Pilot Supersports 26535 R19S in front, 29530 R20S in back ultimately show hints of understeer. Hearing the word understeer, Moers says that adding or subtracting a touch of throttle at the fringes of grip re-establishes the neutral behavior that his chassis engineers diligently baked into the car. The strategic weapon in that campaign is a set of 4 electronically controlled hydraulic mounts supporting the far corners of the powertrain. 2 in front attached to the engine, while 2 in back carry the get-drag transaxle. A torque tube ties the 2 ends together. Moers explains that as the car turns, the front mounts initially soft-setting fools the front tires into thinking they're guiding a much lighter machine. The nose swings first, followed milliseconds later by the engine, This agility sharpening ploy works so subtly that the sensation passed through the seat and steering wheel is that of one fluid movement. Even though this GT S test car feels ready to challenge the 911 in a road race, Mowers stresses that the next iteration of chassis calibrations will be better, slightly higher steering effort, a tighter null zone, and a more poised ride over bumpy pavement. After confirming that the steering assist is hydraulic, he adds that his engineers are confident they can achieve the same or better feedback with the electric booster that is a long-term inevitability. Turning the discussion to brakes, we agree that they need no additional fiddling. The firm pedal provides good feedback, and there's a moderate amount of travel to aid modulation. Even though the dual-clutch automatic delivers consistently quick and crisp shifts, we can't resist asking if the obvious alternative was considered. Mowers insists that AMG customers aren't interested in clutch pedals and sticks. What about moving the engine farther back someday? Why follow Ferrari and Lamborghini to a mid-engine layout? He responds, when we've just begun to tap the promise engineered into this new, perfectly balanced platform. The return to AMG headquarters with Mowers behind the wheel provides a calm moment to study cabin accommodations. The view ahead is better than the SLS's thanks to nearly 3 inches excised from the hood. At the rear, though, the combination of Zaftig haunches, sweeping pillars, and a prominent deck spoiler impairs rear three-quarter visibility. In spite of a wide, structural dorsal using parts from the SLS Roadster, there's ample leg, foot, and hip room. The sport buckets are comfortable and laterally supportive but not confining. The Bose reports that the seats have been lowered and the roof elevated to accommodate the more statuesque of AMG's clients. Arranging the stubby shifter, command mouse, and 8 round switches at the rear of the broad, rising center console clears room for a Guinness Book level cup holder cubicle, a bone thrown to US customers that Mowers finds amusing. The 20 years Mowers spent in AMG's developmental trenches have prepared him well for guiding the fate of this new car. He's a former endurance racer, an avid supporter of advanced technology, and a Benz lifer, so he knows what he wants and, apparently, how to get it. What his AMG organization is about to deliver is a two-for-one, Gran Touring grace combined with a sports car's hunt and kill instincts. But we'll need a full comparison test to see how the GT S measures up to, or possibly even surpasses, that sports car golden mean, the Porsche 911.